Before you start marketing, I'm telling you, these things will really help you in the long run. If you can get these basics down, guys, I'm telling you, it'll be so much easier of a start for you. Myself starting out, I had so many issues, and I was just wasting money. So let me help you guys with this. I really want to show you guys just kind of how you can have a smooth as possible start into your world of marketing. So I'm just going to go over here to the whiteboard. All right, so let's say you are a brand new business. So here is your business, and this could be a website, whatever it is, some sort of e-commerce store, anything like that. But I'm telling you guys, all these still apply. So what I can really say is don't just start running ads. That's the number one thing. Don't just start running ads. So when you're running ads, a lot of people will just be like, oh, Instagram. They'll go onto their Instagram and they'll look on their phone and they'll see this little button that says boost. And you're like, oh, that sounds kind of awesome. But guys, you're really just kind of wasting your time when you see this big boost thing. If I'm honest, it's not going to help you at all. It might look attractive because you're like, wow, I could just get more followers, get some more sales going through my Facebook or my Instagram, anything like that. But really, it's just a waste of time. So stay away from this and don't do that. Okay. So whatever you do, do not just boost posts. I have never really seen any sort of return on that. I mean, the only reason I would ever boost a post is like for a giveaway or something like that. But other than that, I have never really found a good way to boost something. And the giveaways are just really quick, guys, and so it's not even really like a big deal. The second thing I really want you guys to think about is to set a solid budget and don't deviate from it. So let's say your guys' budget is going to start off with $20 a day. That's really small, but it's definitely manageable to see if stuff is working or not. I mean, typically, if I'm starting out with a new campaign or anything new, I like to just start off with $20 and see where it goes. I like to shoot for 50 if I can, but $20 is plenty. So let's see what $20 can get us. Now, keep in mind, this is $600 per month. So you kind of want to look at it as on a monthly basis as well. What is $600 going to get you? Well, we're hoping for at least a 2 times return. So 600 times 2, 1200. So we're hoping for at least a 1200, which would be a 2.0 row. Whoops. As I'm sorry guys for my drawing. This is horrendous, but I'm just gonna go with it anyways. So we're really shooting for this 2 times ROAS, and when you starting off, guys, you are not going to see this every day. You might see a 1.2 day, you might see a 3.5 day or whatever, and then another day you're going to see a 0.5 day, and you're like, okay, well, that's no fun. So because really it really depends on your products that you're selling. Are you running any discount codes as well? Are you running any coupons or something like that? I'll get into that later, but that all factors in a whole lot of things. So you really need to make sure that you set a solid budget for this and you don't deviate from it. If you deviate from it, you're gonna get a bunch of mixed results, because let's say you start with $20 and you're like, okay, I'm gonna do $20, and then you see that 3.0 ROAS on the first day. All right, so you're like, wow, this is great, because today I just made $60 in sales. Boom, cha-ching, right? Well, you're like, all right, let's scale this up, right? Because if I'm getting 3, I could spend $100 and get $300 in sales. So let's say all of a sudden you did that. You went to 100 to Facebook. Now you're looking at $300. Except there's one problem. The problem is this doesn't always, your instant results don't reflect your future results. So don't get carried away with this ROAS number right now, because this number could easily be 0.5 the next day. When you're in the learning phase, and you'll learn about that more with Facebook ads, when you're in the learning phase, numbers can just jump around, and it's nothing that there's not really much you can do about it, except increase your budget. But you have to stick with the same budget. If it's big or if it's small, just keep it at what it is for at least a few days until you can see some results. I already kind of jumped into some of the more advanced stuff here, and my apologies for that. But guys, if you aren't sure about what you're doing, don't just throw it out there. I've wasted a lot of money by just throwing ads out there and hoping that I'm doing the right thing. Well, while it is a learning experience and I get to learn from it and experience and bring it on to you guys, I would say that is not very smart to do. And in the end, it won't bring you very good results. So definitely do your research, watch tons of videos if you can, watch ones like this. And be sure to subscribe and like while you can, guys. If you enjoy this, let me know, and you want more content and more tips from me, please let me know and subscribe. But yeah, guys, know what you're doing, do extensive research on this, and even ask an expert if you want, because your time is definitely valuable in this. So I'm just going to go ahead and remind you of that. I'm sure a lot of you already know, but it's just, I cannot stress it enough how important it is. All right, so the third thing is, how does your website flow? So when a user logs into there, if they launch it from Instagram or Facebook on, let's say, mobile or a desktop, how does it look on there? Like, is it flowing well? Is there any issues with the site? If there's anything that you guys think in your mind that isn't flowing well with what you want as an experience, fix it. Because running people to ads, attracting people to ads and then bringing them to your store, you want a really good experience with that. You don't want flashy colors. You don't want anything like that. I think there's even a website somewhere that has statistics on people visiting websites with certain colors, and like to stay away from certain ones. I'm pretty sure it's like yellow and some other ones. But guys, you want something really attractive, so bring out good product pictures, high quality. Make sure that the colors are decent, and just make it attractive. I'm telling you, put a time into this and people will really like your brand and your website. Because when you're building a website, you're not just building just a website for people to look and shop around. You're building like a user experience. So bringing people to your store, it really is just like bringing somebody to a physical store. You want the aesthetic to be great. You want everything, the look and feel of everything, just as it would be for a physical store. So don't undermine the fact that the appearance of your store really matters, because if you have a good appearance, the chances of the store doing well and performing well after you bring people in with your ads goes way up. I'm just telling you, I cannot stress this enough. And one more thing about desktops too, we have a fair amount of people on our store who shop with desktop. I mean, most people are on mobile. That's totally fine. But if you're shopping with desktop, just also make sure it looks good on there. Sometimes people, when they're building the website, they're like, oh, it looks good, because they're building, let me draw a hammer right here. Whoa. Okay, that's terrible. But most people, when they're drawing when they're building a website, they're like, oh wow, okay, it looks awesome on here, and then they go back over to the phone and they don't even check it. But their websites, their ads are running people, and most people will be visiting your site on a phone. So the problem here is that when you're building a website, looks good, checks out, but then you didn't check how it looked on your phone. So make sure that, this is really good, and vice versa. Sometimes people just are on the app on their phone, like the Shopify app, or I'm not sure if BigCommerce has one, but they'll do something on here and then they won't check it, and it actually looks very awful on desktop. And the ratio of how much this matters isn't as bad as if you didn't check it on mobile, because guys, I'm pretty sure like 90% or 95% will shop on mobile, at least for us. So just make sure that your website flows. And to do this, you can ask friends. So just ask friends. So ask friends how they like your store. If you tell them to shop for something, how difficult is it for them to do that? Ask family. A lot of times, friends and family, they're not going to want to tell you exactly how they think of it, because they're not going to want to hurt your feelings. But guys, if most of the times, they are right. And so just make sure you ask them about this, because you can really learn. You should be seeking out advice, from people who are going to be critical about this. And you can also ask customers too. You can put out Instagram polls, anything like that, to see, just get any bit of feedback. Because sometimes customers will be a lot more honest with you about this. But guys, just make sure you test the flow of your website. If it's not good, you won't get purchases. All right, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is integrating your Facebook pixel. Once you guys have the flow of your store down and everything like that, it's really, really imperative you have your Facebook pixel working. So Facebook pixel is awesome. All right. I'm not going to go into too much detail about how it works, but basically it's the way that you will skill up your store. Okay. Your Facebook pixel, every time somebody visits your store, it's tracking that. Anytime somebody visits your store, it's going to include people that it thinks should be in your audience, which you are targeting. So when you're using Facebook pixel and everybody's going to your store, you're actually building up a huge amount of data that Facebook can use on your store. And guys, it's like exponential. I'm telling you, this thing is crazy. So if you don't know anything about Facebook pixel, seriously, look into it. This goes back to my thing, know what you are doing. But definitely one major thing is to read up on your Facebook pixel. Make sure it's installed on your store. Guys, because once you are starting to use this Facebook pixel, so let's say your Facebook pixel is targeting people who are interested in your products. It doesn't always know that right away, because it might not know who you are, but as the more people who come through your website and hit your pixel, the better your audience is going to be, because it's going to be more targeted. It's going to know who exactly it should be showing the ads to, and it's just a lot stronger. So make sure you have your Facebook pixel. All right, so the next thing I'm going to talk about is, do you guys have a way to entice people into purchasing? If they're a first-time purchaser, why should they trust you? Why should they go out of their way to buy from your shop? I mean, they don't know you. They probably don't have a recommendation from a friend or anything like that. So why should they? And if you have something like an awesome product, that's great. But guys, a lot of times people will just need that extra nudge. So a lot of times what we do is we have like a game pop-up sort of. So when people visit our store, they'll have a little pop-up here, and it shows, it gives them their email, like a slot to put in their email address, and then they get to gamify with getting a bunch of different possible discounts. So I think on our store, they range from anywhere from like 2% to 25% or something like that. So, and guys, this is just kind of a way that you can get people, kind of gamify their experience, or get people to do this. And a more simple way to do this is just to have like a newsletter sign up thing that pops up. And all it does is just collect somebody's email. They'll get a 10% or 15% off coupon. So just come up with what you think is fair. I would honestly just stick to 10% because that is usually good enough for most people, I would say. A lot of times people might be looking for more, but 10% is a good basis, and I think it's a fair exchange for getting an email address from somebody. And the next thing I was going to talk about, it's going right into that, is collecting your email address list. Because guys, if you have a good email address list, you are going to be able to market all these people once again. So not only can this be used for retargeting, so guys, not only can you collect their emails for your marketing in the future, but you can also use this for retargeting and abandoned carts campaigns. So if somebody comes to your site, doesn't see anything they want to buy, then at least you have a shot at winning them back over in the future. So I would totally suggest having some ways or some mean of collecting somebody's email. It's just really going to benefit you in the future. It has to be said that you don't want to abuse this at all. Don't just spam people with emails every day. I'm telling you, that's the way that you're going to get everybody subscribing from you, and that's not going to be a very good customer relationship. So yeah, definitely don't do that. People will like lose trust in you, and it's just not good. So just use their emails for retargeting. But the other thing you guys can use this for is more ads. So when you're building, I know it's so bad. When you're building a future campaign, you actually have the chance to create a lookalike on Facebook using a customer list. So you can actually export this customer list, and I'm pretty sure there's some other like kind of regulations you need to check out about it. But a lot of times you can use this customer list and create a lookalike audience for your ads, for your audience that you're targeting. So I would just say it's super, super duper important. There's a lot more other reasons that I could go into, but just have some way to entice people into purchasing your product and getting a discount, which is awesome, but also for you to win back by a couple of these. So I would just say that's really, really awesome if you can do this. But yeah, guys, that's about it for today. I just wanted to go over a few quick things that I think are foundationally very important for starting off with marketing. Do your research and look over your site and just make sure everything is how you want it to be. Have a way to entice people into buying, and also getting that benefit of having a way to reach out to them again. But yeah, guys, that's about it. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good one.